Imagine machines of war, so deadly they crush bunkers, annihilate enemies, and change history. Today, we explore 70 iconic tanks from World War I mud to modern steel giants. Brace yourself for firepower, armor, and battlefield. Starting of World War I era tanks. The Mark I UK 1916 was the world's first operational tank, moving at 6 kilometers per hour and armed with 6-pounder guns and machine guns. It was designed to cross trenches and barbed wire, introducing armored warfare to the world. The Mark IV UK 1917 featured upgraded armor and engine, could crush barbed wire, withstand small arms fire, and served as the main British tank in WWI. The Renault FT France 1917 was a light tank with a rotating turret and forward engine and a rear crew compartment, becoming the blueprint for modern tanks. The Whippet UK 1917 was a fast, medium tank with a speed of 13 kilometers per hour, used for flanking and infantry support, and armed with machine guns for rapid fire. Germany's only WWI tank, the A7V 1918, carried 6 crew, a 57mm gun, and machine guns. It was heavily armored, but slow and rare on the battlefield. The Saint-Chamond France 1916 had a long chassis and a heavy 75mm gun, but was slow and prone to getting stuck, designed primarily for infantry support. Lastly, the Schneider CA1 France 1916 mounted a 75mm gun, was slow with limited mobility, but provided essential infantry support. Moving on to interwar and early World War II tanks. The Vickers Medium Mk2 UK 1929 was a light medium tank for training, armed with a 47mm gun, focusing on speed and mechanized tactics. The Panzer I, Germany 1934, was a small, light tank with twin machine guns, primarily used for training and early campaigns, introducing German armored doctrine. The Panzer II, Germany 1935, carried a 20mm gun, serving as a light reconnaissance and combat tank, faster than the Panzer I with slightly better armor. The T-26 USSR 1931 was a light tank with a 45mm gun, simple and reliable, used for infantry support and saw action in Spain and Finland. The BT-5 USSR 1933 was a fast cavalry tank with a 45mm gun, reaching 72 kilometers per hour on wheels, ideal for reconnaissance and mobile operations. The Char B-1 France 1935 was a heavy breakthrough tank with a 75mm hull gun and 47mm turret gun, featuring thick armor but slow, designed to crush enemy defenses. The Leichter PZK-PFW I, Germany 1934 was a training light tank with small machine gun armament, the first operational Panzer model. Lastly, the BT-7 USSR 1935 was an advanced cavalry tank with a 45mm gun and 72 kilometers per hour speed, used for reconnaissance and fast flanking attacks. Next on the list, World War II medium tanks. The Panzer III, Germany 1937, featured a 3750mm gun, balanced armor, and a speed of 40 kilometers per hour, forming the backbone of early blitzkrieg campaigns. The Panzer IV, Germany 1937, was a versatile medium tank with a 75mm gun, upgraded over the war for better armor, and remained a mainstay from Poland to Berlin. The T-34-76 USSR 1940 combined sloped armor, a 76.2mm gun, 53 kilometers per hour speed, and 300 kilometers range, dominating the Eastern Front with firepower, mobility, and survivability. The KV-1 USSR 1939 was a heavy tank with thick armor, impervious to early German weapons, a 76.2 mm gun, and served in infantry support and breakthrough roles. The M3 Stuart USA 1941 was a light tank with a 37 mm gun, fast at 58 km/h, used for reconnaissance and infantry support in North Africa. The M3 Lee Grant USA 1941 was a medium tank with dual guns, 75 mm hull, plus 37 mm turret, and 40 km/h speed, seeing action in North Africa. The Valentine UK 1938 was an infantry tank with a 2-pounder gun, 24 km/h speed, and reliable armor for North Africa and early European campaigns. The Matilda II UK 1939 was a heavy infantry tank with a 2-pounder gun, 24 km/h speed, and thick armor that made it nearly invincible early in World War II. The Panther, Germany 1943, mounted a 75 mm high-velocity gun, sloped armor, and reached 55 km/h. Designed as a counter to the T-34 with excellent firepower and protection. The Tiger I Germany 1942 was a heavy tank with an 88 mm gun, thick armor, and 38 km/h speed, feared for battlefield dominance. Finally, the Tiger II, or King Tiger, Germany 1944, was a super heavy tank with a massive 88 mm gun, extreme armor, and slow speed, designed for heavy breakthrough roles. Next on the list, late World War II tanks. The IS-2 USSR 1943 was a heavy tank with a 122 mm gun and thick armor, designed to penetrate German lines and break fortified positions. The IS-3 USSR 1945 was an advanced heavy tank with a pointed turret, sloped armor, and a fast 40 km/h speed for its size, boasting an impressive battlefield presence. The Sherman Firefly UK 1943 was a modified M4 Sherman with a 17-pounder gun, capable of taking on German Tigers and crucial in Normandy. The Churchill Mk7 UK 1944 was a heavy infantry support tank with thick armor, slow but resilient, built for tough frontline assaults. The Cromwell UK 1944 was a fast cruiser tank with a 75 mm gun, reaching 52 km/h, balancing speed and protection for breakthroughs. The Comet UK 1944 improved on the Cromwell with a 77 mm gun and higher speed, bridging World War II and Cold War designs. Moving into post-World War II and Cold War tanks, the M26 Pershing USA 1945 was a heavy tank with a 90 mm gun and 40 km/h speed, capable of taking on late-war German tanks and used in the final World War II battles. The Centurion MKI UK 1945 was a versatile MBT with a 17-pounder gun, balancing speed, armor, and firepower, and was upgraded for decades. The T-44 USSR 1944 was a medium tank with improved armor and mobility, precursor to the T-54, reaching 34 km/h. The T-54 USSR 1947 carried a 100 mm gun, was reliable and mass-produced, with a 350 km operational range, and exported globally. The M47 Patton USA 1951 mounted a 90 mm gun, was an early Cold War MBT, durable and widely used, reaching 48 km/h. The M48 Patton USA 1951 had an upgraded 90mm gun and improved armor, serving in Korea and Vietnam. The T-55 USSR 1958 carried a 100mm gun, was extremely reliable, widely exported, with a top speed of 50 km per hour. The T-62 USSR 1961 upgraded the T-55 with a 115mm smoothbore gun, improved armor, and a 450 km operational range. The Centurion Mk-10 UK 1960 had a 105mm L7 gun, upgraded armor, 35 km per hour speed, and was highly versatile. The Leopard 1, Germany 1965 mounted a 105mm gun with a focus on mobility, reaching 65 km per hour as a fast-response Cold War tank. The Chieftain UK 1966 featured heavy armor, a 120mm rifled gun, advanced fire control, and a top speed of 48 km per hour. The AMX-30 France 1966 had a 105mm gun, light armor, and emphasized speed and maneuver warfare at 65 km per hour. The M60 Patton USA 1960 carried a 105mm gun, was durable, reached 48 km per hour, and saw global deployment. Finally, the T-72 USSR 1971 mounted a 125mm smoothbore gun with reactive armor, reaching 60 km per hour, and became the main Soviet MBT. Next, modern tanks. The Leopard 2, Germany 1979 features a 120mm smoothbore gun, composite armor, 68 km per hour speed, and advanced fire control and battlefield electronics. The M1 Abrams USA 1980 mounts a 120mm smoothbore gun, gas turbine engine, and composite armor, reaching 67 km per hour, dominating the Gulf War. The Challenger 1 UK 1983 carries a 120mm rifled gun, heavy armor, and 56 km per hour speed, tested in Gulf War combat, followed by the Challenger 2 UK 1998 with excellent survivability, 120mm rifled gun, 59 km per hour speed, and advanced armor systems. The Leclerc, France 1992 has a 120mm gun, high mobility, and advanced electronics for battlefield awareness. The T-90, Russia 1992 mounts a 125mm gun with reactive armor, reaching 60 km per hour, proven in combat. The Merkava Merka 3, Israel 1999 is optimized for urban warfare with heavy armor, 120mm gun, and 64 km per hour speed, upgraded in the Merkava Merka 4, Israel 2004. With enhanced armor and electronics. The K2 Black Panther, South Korea 2014 combines a 120mm gun, active protection, advanced mobility, and 70 km per hour speed. The Type 99, China 2001 features a 125mm smoothbore gun, composite armor, modern electronics, and 80 km per hour speed, followed by the T-14, Armata, Russia 2015, with an unmanned turret, advanced sensors, armor, and 80 km per hour speed. The Arjun Mark II, India 2010 has a 120mm rifled gun, indigenous design, modern fire control, and 70 km per hour speed. The VT-4, China 2016 mounts a 125mm smoothbore gun, with advanced targeting and mobility. The K1A1, South Korea, 1997, carries a 120mm smoothbore gun, upgraded fire control, and 67 km/h speed. The T-80U, Russia, 1985, features a gas turbine, 125mm smoothbore gun, reactive armor, and 70 km/h speed. The M1A2 SEP USA 2000 is the latest Abrams with 120mm gun, upgraded armor, and electronics. The Leopard 2A7 Germany 2014 has enhanced armor, 120mm gun, advanced battlefield electronics, and 68 km/h speed. The Type 10 Japan 2012 is a lightweight MBT with 120mm gun, modular armor, and 70 km/h speed. The ZTZ-96B China 2000s mounts a 125mm gun with modern electronics and 65 km/h speed. The Oplot M Ukraine 2010s carries a 125mm gun, advanced fire control, and excels in urban and open field combat at 65 km/h. The Stridsvagn 122, Sweden, 1990s, is a Leopard 2 variant with enhanced armor, cold climate optimization, and 65 km/h speed. The Leopard 2 A6, Germany, 2001, mounts a 120mm gun, optimized for desert operations at 68 km/h. The M60A3 USA, 1980s, has a 105mm gun, modern electronics, and 48 km/h speed, a Cold War veteran. Finally, the T-90 milliseconds, Russia, 2010s, features a 125mm gun, upgraded armor and sensors, and 65 km/h speed as a modernized T-90 variant. Those were 70 of the deadliest tanks ever built, shaping history with steel and firepower. Which one would you take into battle? Comment below and hit subscribe for more legends.